The life of a young Malaysian prince, known for his kindness, bravery, and devotion to his people, was tragically cut short at just the young age of 25. I am talking about Abdul Jalil. He was not just any other royal, but a prince who took up a different path in life and joined the police force, gave his time to charity, and spent his final years fighting a deadly illness. His sudden death sent shockwaves through the nation, leaving millions heartbroken. So what exactly happened in those final months? And what was it about this young prince that touched the hearts of so many people? Well, let's uncover the story of the unforgettable People's Prince. The young Malaysian prince died at 25, a dreadful story that affected a whole nation. Abdul Jalil, or Tunku Jalil, as he was known by those close to him, was the fourth of 6 children born to Sultan Ibrahim, the head of the Johor royal family, a family not exactly known for flying under the radar. In Malaysia, the name Sultan Ibrahim has become a common icon related to riches and influence. This is all about a man who does not conceal the Ferrari collection or his fleet of high-end motorbikes at home and on social media. This has made their family's estimated wealth to be $5.7 billion. Passing into the elite billionaire circle, the Johor royals are practically living a life of luxury. But Abdul Jalil was different. He was the one who stood out, not for his riches or his title, but for his humility and kindness. While his father and siblings were enjoying the material privileges of royalty, Abdul Jalil was carving his niche in an altogether different domain. He was a giving man who was often seen volunteering. He was more of a philanthropist than a showman. It was this compassion and sense of duty that really put him in the hearts of the Malaysian people. Now, you might think that being the Sultan's son, Abdul Jalil would have been handed a cushy role in the state administration. Maybe something ceremonial, with lots of perks and little work, but he wasn't interested. He didn't just want a title, he wanted to make a difference, and he did just that. He became a volunteer at the Sepalak Orangutan Rehabilitation Center in Sabah and later at the Singapore Zoological Gardens Reptile and Veterinary Department. He even volunteered for 2 years at the London Zoo. This was a prince who was ready to work with his hands for the betterment of society and the world. A rare gem in a world of opulence and luxury. Abdul Jalil wasn't just a prince by birth, he was a prince by heart. He was a very kind-hearted man, and the same was exemplified through his participation in a host of charitable institutions. He worked tirelessly to extend support to charity organizations such as Johor Spastic Association, Malaysian Nature Society, Orangutan Appeal UK, as well as Malaysian Red Crescent Society. As the vice chairman for community services at MRCS, he wasn't just a figurehead, he was on the front lines. Look at him as a young prince, not in a palace or a luxury car, but at evacuation centers, handing out aid to flood victims, personally ensuring they had what they needed during the hardest times. And when it came to sports, Abdul Jalil wasn't your typical royal. While many of his royal peers were perfecting their polo skills, he had a different interest. You see, he had an allergy to horsehair, so polo was out of the question. Instead, he discovered that his happiness could be found out on the water, sailing. Malaysian Sailing League and Youth Sailing Program was initiated by him in 2013, which brought the change in the sailing world of Malaysia. Hard work does not remain unnoticed, and his efforts were duly recognized. In 2014, he received the President Development Award from the International Sailing Federation, or World Sailing, as it is now known for his endeavor and work in popularizing sailing sport in Malaysia. Then came his police career. For a Johor royal, few could have imagined that Abdul Jalil would blaze a trail in a field that demanded grit, courage, and commitment, not as a public figure, but as a protector and defender. The following year, in 2011, he was in the media limelight as the first person from the Johor royal household to become a member of the police force. He did not wake up one day and found a badge pinned on his chest. He worked for it. To pursue his education, Abdul Jalil took up the Royal Malaysia Police (RMP) Probationary Inspector course, a 9-month training course at the Malaysian Police Training Center, Pulapal, situated at Semarak Road, and after months of undergoing rigorous training, he was sworn in as a probationary inspector on the 8th of January 2012. However, Abdul Jalil did not stop performing his duties in this line after that. In 2013, he chose to go for Special Forces just like his father. He passed through the Basic Special Actions course, one of the most rigorous training courses that prepares ordinary men, let alone extraordinary ones, for extreme stress, and he made it through. Soon he became a part of the Royal Malaysia Police's elite counter-terrorist unit, the Special Actions Unit, UTK. A prince by birth but a warrior by choice, he was known as the only royalty to have ever served in this elite squad. By 2015, his dedication was recognized, and he was promoted to the rank of inspector. However, in the midst of everything that seemed as if would push Abdul Jalil's police force career into an upward trajectory, fate struck. The young prince had never flinched from any form of challenge and had always been very determined to face challenges that came his way, but now he was facing what could arguably be termed as the toughest kind of battle, the battle of his very life. All the promises of a bright future, all his dreams and ambitions, were suddenly overshadowed by a cruel and unexpected diagnosis: Stage 4 liver cancer. It was late 2014, and Abdul Jalil had just turned 24 years old. In the beginning, the disease manifested itself slowly, and was therefore not very conspicuous. He appeared to be healthy. He went on performing his functions in the manner and spirit characteristic of him. But one day, the signs that pointed towards that situation started to emerge and became quite hard to miss. He started getting thinner. His body puffed up with pain, the sort of pain that even the strongest of wills cannot hide. However, in typical Abdul Jalil fashion, he refused to let his illness define him. The sad news that Abdul Jalil was diagnosed with cancer must have been devastating for his countrymen to bear, when they were also facing a national disaster. Torrential monsoon rains had resulted in the worst floods in Malaysia in decades and displaced hundreds of thousands of people. The rivers overflowed, causing entire communities to be submerged with water. But guess what? In this confusion, this young prince, even with a dreadful fatal disease, chose to serve the masses. He went on with his humanitarian work and tried to organize the delivery of aid to the victims of the flood. His commitment, while being supported by the Malaysian Red Crescent, allowed the saving of so many people's lives. But the severity of his sickness became evident, and he had to go back to the doctors. He was transferred to Hospital Sultanah Aminah, Johor Bahru, to seek further treatment, in a bid to fight the disease. He got a liver transplant in December 2014 at the first affiliated hospital, Sun Yat-sen University, Guangdong, China. But even amid his personal battle, Abdul Jalil's compassion for others never dimmed. During his recovery, he spent time visiting fellow cancer patients at the Oncology Center and Cancer Ward in Hospital Sultan Ismail, Johor Bahru. He listened to their stories, shared his own, and gave comfort and encouragement. He realized the enormous financial and emotional strain cancer placed on families and was determined to make a difference. Sadly, Abdul Jalil died due to his illness. On the 5th of December, 2015, at the age of 25 years, at 7:11 p.m. at Royal Ward, Sultanah Aminah Hospital. The day later, a royal state funeral took place at Istana Besar in Johor Bahru, and he was buried at the Mahmudiyah Royal Mausoleum beside his grandfather, Almarhum Sultan Iskandar Ibni Almarhum Sultan Ismail. The state and people of Johor, together with all Malaysians, grieved for the passed-on people's prince. People and civil servants were allowed 3 days of mourning, while the royal family had 7 days of mourning. His passing at such a young age was a profound loss, not only for the people of Johor, but for the entire nation. Despite his short life, Abdul Jalil had walked among the people, winning their hearts with his humility, kindness, and dedication. His eldest brother, Tunku Ismail Sultan Ibrahim, the Crown Prince of Johor, captured the essence of Abdul Jalil's spirit in a heartfelt tribute. "You have the one quality that none of us possess, your humble, loving heart." His struggle with cancer became a catalyst for hope and charity. Inspired by his fight and his dream to ease the suffering of others, Sultan Ibrahim launched the Tunku Laksamana Johor Cancer Foundation with the full support of the royal family. The foundation continues to offer support and financial assistance to those battling cancer, ensuring that Abdul Jalil's legacy lives on. His legacy also endures in the Tunku Abdul Jalil Conservation Center, opened on September 4, 2018, by His Majesty Sultan Ibrahim Ismail in memory of his son. The center stands as a beacon of Abdul Jalil's love for nature and his enduring spirit of service and compassion. So, do you think the prince had already achieved his purpose? What would you do with the time you have to make an impact on the world around you? How far would you go to help others if you knew your time was limited? Let us know in the comments below. Your thoughts might inspire someone else to make a difference too. And well, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.